By now, you know the story of the witches of Salem. Those poor souls were caught in a time of fear and greed, and they paid the price. They may have died, but witchcraft lives on in Salem.
Oh, this should be interesting.
The world would have you believe witches were not real. I'm not talking about old, ugly women who curse their neighbors and fly on broomsticks. The truth is, witches are real. They have always been real. They are alive and well. They are powerful, carrying the secrets of the world beyond the one we see. Ritual, mystery, magic. Most exist now only in secret, and they may be standing among you even now. It is said that in Salem, a coven of witches settled in recent years, set on revenge for the deaths of the Salem witches. Their ritual, one midnight on Halloween, unleashed the angry spirits of the past.
That's so cool.
How did you do that? Thank you. Now, if any of you are interested in the real history of the witches of Salem, I provide self-guided tours through some of my favorite locations in town. And perhaps you too will see one of the restless dead.
A thief in Austria used the same kind of stage magic she's using.
Thief? There was a thief? What were you doing there?
Visiting a spooky old castle. You'd have liked it.
Do you regularly fly to Europe for investigations?
Sometimes.
And if you want to learn about being a witch, come forward. Uh-oh, here comes trouble.
Me? Never. Well, nothing too bad, I hope.
Did you know that in the Malleus Maleficarum, ginger hair was the sign of a witch? You're my kind of people.
I'm not nearly as talented as you are.
Aw, shucks. You're making me blush. Oh, there it is. Now I'm turning red. You truly are a witch.
So to become a witch, do I need to take a test or get a diploma?
A true witch is not made with pieces of paper. She is born to it and will feel the call. Bureaucracy is for persecutors. We don't need permission. We don't live by the rules. Anyway, what can I help you with?
How did you perform that trick?
A witch never reveals her secrets. It's against the witch code.
A code? I thought bureaucracy and rules were for persecutors.
Although, if you take my self-guided tour, I promise you will learn at least one secret about being a witch.
Do you really believe some modern witch coven unleashed ghosts on Salem?
About 8 years back, there were rumors of a coven that they performed a ritual to return the dead witches to Salem to seek out their revenge before the witches moved on.
Is there any evidence of such a coven?
Ever since then, ghost sightings have gone through the roof. Salem is now considered the most haunted place in the country.
Interesting.
You think it's a coincidence that the former home of the Hathornes was set on fire?
Talk to you later. A specter may be hanging over Salem, but that doesn't keep the town from getting into the Halloween spirit. A specter may be hanging over Salem, but that doesn't keep the town from getting... The road has completely collapsed into the sinkhole. No wonder they closed it off. The ground is still crumbling. That group is really chanting up a storm. What has them so angry?
What do we want? Justice! When do we want it? Now!
What do we want? Justice! When do we want it? Now!
What do we want? Justice! When do we want it? Now!
Can these guys get any louder? They're going to wake the dead next door.
What do we want?
Maybe that's a good thing. I could ask them a few questions.
Stop trying to erase our history! What do we want? Justice!
Excuse me, what exactly are you guys protesting?
Only the greatest injustice to happen in Salem since 1692. They're gonna give the house to the state. What do we want? Justice! When do we want it?
AW. What does it stand for?
When do we want it?
Witches. What do we want? Hathorne House is a symbol of the state's oppression. Judge Hathorne bought it cheap after he murdered our ancestors so he could build his mansion. And now we can legally take it back.
Well, if you're doing it legally, then why the protest march?
Rumor has it, all our evidence for a claim to the estate has gone missing. Stolen right from the courthouse. And the judge himself refuses to speak to us. He hasn't even made an official statement regarding the burning. It's an injustice!
When do we want it?
What do we want? Justice! When do we want it?
What do we want?
Hey, what are you doing?
He's a judge, Deirdre. He's not gonna bite. Hello? Judge Danforth.
Yeah, hello. Ted, is that you?
Ted?
No, Your Honor. My name is Nancy Drew. I think you've spoken with my father.
Nancy Drew? Carson's daughter?
Yes, and I'm with my friend Deirdre Shannon. We're investigating the arson of the Hathorne House.
Ah, yes, yes.
Can we come in?
Well, you see, no, I mean, I'd let you in, but I seem to have been locked in my office and I need some help getting out.
Do you know where I could find a key to your office?
Yes, I believe I gave a copy of the key to Alicia Cole as backup. She's just down the hall. I hope she's still here.
Yes, can I help you?
Hi, so sorry to bother you at this hour, but we're here to meet with Judge Danforth, and he seems to be locked inside his office.
He said you might have a key.
Sorry, I gave him my spare. Unbelievable. Does this ever end?
Oh, well then, do you have a paperclip?
Yeah. And if you don't mind me asking, what business do you two have with the judge?
We're helping the judge with a case.
Anything I can assist you with?
Thanks, but I think we got it. No need for a lawyer. At least, not yet.
The diploma gave me away, huh?
Aside from the cold coffee you're still drinking and the deluxe open box of sticky tabs, yeah, you could say I know the type really well.
Nancy Drew, you really are your father's daughter. It's nice to finally meet you.
You know my dad?
Small world. If you need any assistance or more paper clips, feel free to ask.
Hello? I'll come back later. Judge Danforth? I couldn't find your key.
What? Alicia said she'd keep a copy for me.
Well, I did find a paperclip. I think I can pick your lock, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, sure, fine.
This shouldn't be too much of a challenge. Got it.
Efficient. How'd you learn to do that, actually?
Online video tutorial.
Someday you have to tell me about your secret life of breaking and entering, Drew. Because you're in danger of being cool. Which, honestly, I just don't like.
Someday.
Ah, those protesters are out there again, stirring the pot. You know, this town used to be a quiet place, but it seems lately there's been an element that has infiltrated our community. I have no doubt one of those troublemakers locked my door and threw away the key. Now, Nancy, your father and I have discussed.
Oh, sorry. I'm not Nancy.
Of course you're not. You look nothing like Carson. Did your father ever tell you about the time we won 4th place at the Lake Winnipesaukee Regatta? You see, at the time I had 20/10 vision, so I was the navigator and...
Judge, this is Deirdre Shannon. She's working with me on the case.
Deirdre, you're the one who tried to break down my door.
Breakdown?
Your Honor, that's an exaggeration. I was knocking. Heavily.
Look, I'm really busy, dealing with this Hathorne House business. Being a judge is not as simple as, you know, investigating during your free time.
Well, we just used our free time to unlock your door. So I'm sure you'll be willing to repay us with some answers to our questions. Right?
Yes, of course. What can I help you girls with?
Can you explain to us how you're involved with the Hathorne House?
Well, yes. The house was built by Judge John Hathorne during the 1600s, and it represented the oldest surviving structure from that era. Judge Hathorne, of course, was one of the 3 judges that presided over the Salem witch trials.
Yes, and I'm sure we can read all about the home's history in Salem's museum.
More recently, Frances Tuttle, Judge Hathorne's last direct descendant, lived in a small section of the house while the rest was left to fall into considerable disrepair. She was alone, except for a part-time caregiver, Lauren Holt, who had a bedroom in the carriage house. A few months ago, Frances Tuttle passed away, which left Hathorne House without a legal heir. According to the historical statutes of Salem, after 90 days, the house reverts to public property, the deadline of which is 2 days from now, at midnight.
Told that the burning of Hathorne House is suspected to be a case of arson. How did the police come to that conclusion?
The investigation found paint solvent residue on burnt embers, suggesting someone deliberately used an accelerant. Thankfully, Mrs. Tuttle never had to see what became of her home.
And what evidence do you have that May Perry is the one responsible for this?
Evidence? Have you ever heard of recidivism? 3 out of 4 criminals in the United States are repeat offenders. And there's only one person in all of Salem who has a history of fire-related crime.
So, there is no evidence.
Not yet, but there will be.
You don't need evidence. She's already been convicted in the court of public opinion.
Is that what she said?
No, I'm saying it.
She has a history with this sort of thing.
What's May's motive? What does she gain by burning down the Hathorne House?
You'd have to ask her. And while you're at it, you can ask about her alibi, which she refused to give to the police. So, any other questions?
So the Book of Apologies. Why did you really need it?
Yes, and first of all, I'm so glad you're all right. Nasty business. Had I known you were going to be put in harm's way, I would have never called Carson and asked for his help.
I've done plenty of work for my father. Trust me. I can handle myself.
Yes, I'm sure you can.
So I've already heard some stories, but would you mind giving me your version of why the book is important?
Yes, so... Judge Sewell was rumored to keep a ledger of all the accused, intending to publish it to reconcile with their families and clear their names. But he passed away before he could do so.
Going to Austria for a rumored book seems like a heck of a long shot.
Well, I have been under some pressure from the AW group. AW as in accused witches.
So, how did Frances Tuttle pass away exactly?
The woman was 88 years old. The coroner confirmed her death was of natural causes.
So they never investigated Lauren Holt.
You need the suspicion of foul play to investigate someone, young lady.
We'd like to speak with her all the same.
She still lives on the estate, although for how much longer we do not know. You can also find her in her shop, Luminous Infusions. She might be willing to talk to you.
Don't you think it's dangerous throwing around May's name as a suspect before any evidence links her to the crime?
What do you mean? What are you saying?
From what you've described, there is no evidence against May. Yet you were saying that she did it. As a judge, I think you would be the first to admit that sounds prejudicial.
It is not just me, Miss Drew. There are plenty of people who believe that May is responsible for this crime. It is not prejudice when she is the only likely suspect.
Actually, That is the definition of prejudice.
I'm not going to have this debate with you. Is there anything else?
Talk to you later.
Miss True, before you go, there is something else I need your help with.
You're not locked out of your car, are you?
Oh, no. There was an incident here recently. Someone broke into the evidence room.
Oh. Have you called the police?
Well, no, not yet. I don't think anything was taken. Never mind. I'll call the police. Thank you for your time.
What do we want? Justice. When do we want it? Now.
What do we want?
Now this accused witches group shows up from out of nowhere and thinks they're entitled to the Hathorne property.
Didn't they find proof for their claim? It's only fair.
How far back do these reparations have to go? It's been hundreds of years. Nobody owes these loudmouths squat. It's a bid for attention and money.
Must every response be outrage? I miss the peace and quiet.
Uh-oh, here comes trouble.
How else could the fire have started?
I heard there was not a single living soul in the house when it started burning. Keyword, living. The world is composed of two equal parts, dark and light. The light we see every day. It's the trees, the people, the birds. It's our world. You can even see it at night. The dark is the unknown. A plane of existence that vibrates just underneath the light. But if you were in a place like Salem, a place where a painful history permeates every surface, every crack, every brick, and every tomb, the dark will appear. Usually when you least expect it. That's why they say, don't be out past midnight in Salem, because the dark may reach out and take you. Also, did you know that Salem has more ghost sightings than any other city in North America? If you want to learn why, you should go on my tour.
How often do you do this show?
Most nights. It gets busier around Halloween, and I'm sure you can figure out why.
How about the night that the Hathorne House was burned?
You look a little young to be working for the police, dear.
Oh no, it's nothing like that. We're just curious tourists.
Good, because I've already spoken with them.
And so, you were here.
I was out of town. Did you girls know that Salem is haunted? There's a ghost here. If you go on my tour, you'll learn where you can find it.
Talk to you later. What does this mean? Hi. So, we met this interesting woman named Olivia.
We all know about Olivia and her magic.
I thought it was pretty cool.
Good for you. I'm done talking, okay?
Maybe we can learn something about the town. Might help May's case.
The figure of a Puritan woman accused of being a witch. These were ordinary people, just like anyone else. The figure of a Puritan woman accused of being a witch. These were ordinary people, just like anyone else. The figure of a Puritan...
Hey, sorry about the mess. We're in the middle of installing a big showcase. So what have you seen in town so far?
We decided to do the Real Witches tour.
Oh, you talked to Olivia.
What's with her getup? Witch? Street magician, maybe?
Everyone has to make a living. Is she telling the story about a coven living here in the recent past?
Yeah. Why?
Just bad taste.
Olivia is quite the local character. I hope you don't mind if we do the tour. I want to see more of the town, and finding out a place's old superstitions is kind of a habit I've gotten into. I'm excited to look around the museum.
Of course.
sad that even children are named in the list of those accused witches, like Abigail Johnson, just 11. Closed off. Looks like they're preparing a new installation. Everything you could ever want to know about Salem's history, from the Namkiag people to the Great Salem Fire of 1914. Let's see. Let's see. Done. This looks great. Now to find a nice place to put it.
How's the investigating going? Any progress with May?
I've got some leads. I haven't had much progress with May, though. I was wondering if I could ask you a couple of questions, if you have time.
Sure thing. How can I help?
What's this new showcase about?
Yes, this new showcase is going to be really cool. Just in time for Halloween, you know?
But what is it about?
If you come back on Halloween, I'll show you.
We came across a protester who was part of the Accused Witches organization. Do you know anything about them?
The poor men and women who were accused of witchcraft in 1692 were killed and robbed under the guise of justice. Because of that, their descendants, the AW organization, have been working to get reconciliation ever since. They even filed a claim for ownership of the Hathorne House.
Can I show you something? I found this letter at your house, and I'm curious who wrote it.
Let me see it.
Do you recognize it?
No, I don't. Were you digging through our trash?
I saw it. Couldn't help myself. What can I say? I love a good puzzle.
It's trash. Can you keep your assistant out of my garbage?
She's not my...
Assistant isn't really the right word.
I can think of others.
Fine. Anything else?
Nancy doesn't let any details slip by her, no matter how mundane. And that just might be what we need to help May.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know what it is. I've never seen it before. Could be one of May's weird friends from school, for all I know. Okay?
I thought she didn't really have any friends.
Well, I don't know who wrote it, okay?
So what's the deal with these pumpkins?
Oh, yeah. I've prepared some pumpkins that visitors can carve and bring with them to place around Salem. Feel free to give it a try if you want. It's really fun and completely free.
Talk to you later. Sounds interesting.
Welcome on my tour.
Thank you.
Known formerly as the Town Hall. Not only a great resource for the Salem witch trials, it also holds records of other interesting facets of our local history. Anyone visiting Salem does well to seek out the forbidden knowledge hidden in these halls.
bring light into the darkness.
Before you stands Abigail Hathorne, helping the accused witches escape the grasp of her own brother, Judge Hathorne himself. Abigail freed many from their holding cells until the judge caught her in the act and locked her up in a cell deep within the Hathorne House. The statue was given the name Little Liberty in honor of her valiant efforts to free the innocent. Lies the infamous Hathorne estate. It was common during the Salem witch trials that the lands of the accused were taken and resold for cheap. The judge himself bought many such lands, and on them built his grand estate. The Hathorne House has since come to represent all the wrongs that were inflicted during the trials. Headstones bear names lost to history, but some believe they belong to those sentenced for witchcraft. A condemned witch was forbidden from being buried on consecrated grounds, but many victims were buried by loved ones in secrecy, and some may have found their eternal rest beneath these unmarked graves.
This spot gives me the chills.
You stand before the remains of Salem's most zealous and conniving judge. So lacking in morals was Judge Hathorne that he sentenced innocents to death while claiming the estates of the dead as his own. Unlike the more remorseful Judge Sewell, Hathorne never felt any guilt for his part in the Salem witch trials. It was a time of horror, when the witches who walked the earth were wrongfully prosecuted and thus stripped of everything. These are the ghosts you'll find here in Salem. Their homes taken, their knowledge destroyed, their lives erased.
road has completely collapsed into the sinkhole. No wonder they closed it off. The ground is still crumbling. The road has completely collapsed into the...
Oh there, watch your step. In recent years, these maws into the deep unknowns have opened. There was once a vast network of tunnels beneath Salem, used by smugglers during the Prohibition era. Most would have you believe that these tunnels are now collapsing. But you have to wonder if there could be something more sinister behind these sudden maws into the underworld.
Okay, I'm officially exhausted. Let's head back to the Perry house, okay?
So, any thoughts?
First album was better.
Yeah, totally. It's good.
Really? You like this?
Why wouldn't I?
Yeah, well, they were much better before they changed their bassist.
I meant the case. What do you think about it?
I don't like the judge.
Yeah, I kinda got that. I think the feeling's mutual.
Well, he's a jerk. Maybe he burned down the Hathorne House. What? You don't think so?
That magic that Olivia was using is so similar to what I saw in Austria.
I don't think the Witch of Salem is burning anything except people's hard-earned money. Those magic tricks are for kids.
If May were willing to give an alibi, we could clear this up tonight. She's not talking to anyone, it seems. We are all allowed to enjoy some amount of privacy, but her refusal to be interviewed leads me to believe she is hiding something.
I can't believe you, Drew. I thought you were here to help. You know, not everyone can be as brilliant and cold as you are.
I'm not cold, and I never said I was brilliant either.
You need to get May to trust you. If she trusts you, she'll open up and tell you the truth. And then you'll see. You're kind of my last hope to reach her. You're good at finding ways to get people to open up. Usually. So find a way.
I'll try. Hi. We saw Tegan at the museum. Looks like she's working on an interesting installation.
Why don't you ask her?
Well, I thought you might have an opinion, or...
I don't. Can you just leave her out of this? I don't want her being involved with my problems.
Have you ever seen this lighter before?
Wow. I lost this days ago. Where'd you find it?
Outside the front door.
Are you always snooping around?
I have a knack for finding things that other people miss.
Thanks. This means a lot to me.
Your sister really cares about me.
She has a strange way of showing it sometimes.
Well, she cared enough to get Deirdre and I involved.
I worry about her.
How come?
She takes her work really seriously. Like, she cares. A lot. Like, way more than most normal people do for their passion projects. It's not a hobby, it's more like something she has to do.
Kinda sounds like me.
I hope not. It's like her personal crusade, like only she can make it better or something. You can't live your life like that. You need to enjoy it. Enjoy it with people you love.
Yeah, believe me, I know. May, I know you don't know me that well, but I'm here to help you.
I didn't burn down the Hathorne House.
Okay. Why does everyone think you did?
It's called prejudice. You look different. Or something like that.
That doesn't seem like like a good reason to burn down a building.
What can I say? You're stupid. I believe it's gone.
Did you ever visit the estate?
All the time. I appreciated it.
Oh? Why? Because it's historically significant?
It was built by a cold, brutal man who sent a bunch of people to their death because he didn't understand them. I appreciate being reminded of what happens when greedy people stay in charge.
Can you tell me anything about Olivia Ravencroft? Anything at all?
I can tell you she doesn't get along with my sister.
Really? Why?
I don't know. They had some falling out a while ago. You should ask her.
Do you think Olivia would have any reason to light the Hathorne House on fire?
Let me put it this way. Olivia is what we call in this town part of the witch business. Anything dramatic, spectacular, or with fire, she's usually involved.
So you think she did it?
I didn't say that. I just think it's possible that she could have.
Okay, thanks. Did you know Frances Tuttle very well?
No. But I know her daughter Lauren has that shop in Miss Infusions.
You ever been inside?
No, why would I go there?
I was just wondering if you knew her.
I don't. I mean, I know she used to hang with my sister back in the day. But I guess they fell out or something, that's all I know.
Look, I spoke with the judge. They don't have anything on you. All we need is an alibi, and then they can't charge you with anything.
And they're not going to have anything on me. Because he can't prove I did it.
Then why not just give the police an alibi? That's all they need.
I just can't. It's not only about me, okay?
Okay, I understand. But I can't help you or anyone else if I don't know who they are.
I appreciate what you're trying to do, but I can't.
Do you and the judge know each other? Have a history?
The man thinks I'm a bad influence.
Why?
Because I used to be friends with his son. His son has had an interesting life, and he thinks it's my fault. He holds a grudge against me.
Really? That sounds surprising.
You live in a small town long enough, they make up their minds about who you are. Doesn't matter if it's true or not, it just is.
Hey, what are you listening to?
You like this?
Yeah, we were listening on the way over. First album was much better. Yeah, too bad they changed bassists.
Yeah, I know, right? It's just, you don't look like you listen to this music.
Why does no one believe me?
Now you know how I feel. I'm done talking, okay?
Well?
She's protecting something. Or someone.
Okay, yeah, obvi. But what?
I don't know yet. I'm getting through to her, though. We have to go to the Hathorne House. Tonight.
Tonight? Like, in the dark?
Yeah. Do you have flashlights?
You do remember what I told you about that place, right?
You know what? Better idea. I'll go. You stay here and see if maybe May feels like talking to you.
Be careful out there, Drew.
There's no such thing as ghosts, Deirdre. I'll be fine.
No, not ghosts. People swear there's something in that house. Too many people believe it to not be true. Could be a wild animal or a toxic waste dump, I don't know. Just keep your guard up, okay?
Oh, wow, that was really sweet.
All right, let's not hug or anything. You should check in with Lauren Holt. She still lives up there. Take the keys for my car. It's way too far of a walk all the way there. And remember, things happen after midnight in Salem. Be careful.